Hello, I'm Alex.
I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
And this is episode 35 of the RAGAMUFFIN Music Podcast. It's a place for us to talk about the music we love. Every month we get together, talk about the latest news, music and trends in the world of alternative music.
On this episode, we'll be reviewing the brand new Symptoms of Survival by Dying Wish, as well as the new Spirit Box EP, plus singles from Neck Deep, The Ghost Inside, and more.
And later on, we'll be reacting to our Spotify Wrapped.
We're excited.
Juicy. But first, let's start with last episode's album recommendations. What do we recommend?
I recommended Green Day Ducky 30th Anniversary, in particular Disc 2, because some 4-track EPs, 4-track demos rather, different versions of songs that we know, and I found that as an old fan quite interesting. So, how did you find it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it... how do I word this?
It's not going to be a game changer or anything.
It's
For me, it was a
interesting.
nostalgia trip and
It's
that kind of fun.
It's just interesting to hear that perspective, more so than it is enjoyable. Like, I did find myself, as I was listening to it, thinking, this is really cool, but I'd rather be listening to the actual version of the album.
Yeah.
But that makes it sound like I'm being really fucking just needlessly complaining, because it is actually a very cool thing that a band of that caliber has been able to say, hey, look, this is what we sounded like before we made arguably the best pop punk album of all time. Do you know what I mean? In a way, it's quite inspiring, because it's like, oh shit, these songs changed so much.
I mean, like Basket Case in particular is wildly
That's what I was going to
different.
say. I think it was Basket Case, and it might have been When I Come Around, were the two that stood out for me as being like, wow, these are totally different. And again, that like these aren't polished versions of the songs. The finished versions are always going to sound better.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to be fair, again, that might be subjective. There's probably some people that prefer these versions, but like Alex said, it's just intriguing to kind of see a different approach to a song and see it at kind of a different time in its life, essentially, before it's had a chance to be properly produced and refined and have it sort of stripped back to its bare bones.
To put you on the spot, and I haven't even really thought of this myself, hearing how this is from like a band like that 30 years on from the album being released, is there a particular album where you'd be intrigued to listen back to for like demos, early stages of how these songs were kind of written, a bit like this is, so you can just kind of get a different perspective, learn about the process with it all? Is there anything that comes to mind?
That's a brilliant question.
It's a really good question. It could be a discussion topic that we go even more in depth on. I mean, quite recently, to be fair, the Greatest Generation by the Wonder Years has had a box set reissue on vinyl, and one of the vinyls on there had some demos and some 4 tracks and even some voice note demos on stuff as well. So that was really fun to look at. American Football's first album has been reissued with a 4-track version with some 4-track and live recordings as well. So I've kind of listened to two of mine there, I guess. But I'm trying to think of another one that I would maybe pick.
Ali, anything coming to mind?
Tough. I'm really trying to think. I think it would have to be something like insanely iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd want to see, like with Dookie, you want to see how it changes. So maybe it would probably be something like Master of Puppets or Slipknot self-titled. I would have said Hybrid Theory, but they kind of did... They did it after the fact when they did Reanimation, which I know that's kind of different because that's like a remixed and reanimation of those songs. But that was interesting for them, like to be like, hey, here's a bunch of songs, here's all this art that we made, and now we've like completely chopped it up, changed it.
And for the note of what you said with the Slipknot one is when they did their 20th anniversary, I think it was with it. Yeah. Or it might have even been the 10th. You can hear songs like Purity, but then you have like Despise and Interloper. Yeah. So you kind of hear like how some of the songs, but like you don't get like, I mean, Sick was on Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat anyway, but some of the songs you don't hear.
I think it's also because like stories from that recording session are so like, what's the word? Mythologized?
Yeah. There's like a legend to it.
Yeah. So it's like, I would be interested to hear demos from what sounds to be like an insane time. So
I'm going to chuck an interesting one out here because it's not a band that I'm a huge fan of, but as Alex touched on it, I feel like it needs to be something quite iconic. And I'm not a huge fan, so they may already be out there anyway, but I think Nevermind by Nirvana
That'd be
would be quite an interesting one. I know they're quite raw songs anyway, and I know Alex disagrees with this as a notorious Nirvana hater. But yeah, I think almost stripped back, even like vocal only versions of those songs, I think would sound really cool.
That'd be
just to kind of hear again the thought process of writing and refining those songs. I think it'd be really, really interesting.
Fun little tangent we just went on.
Yeah, I think that is actually quite a good answer.
Thanks,
much as I don't like Nirvana.
That's what I mean. I'm not even a massive Nirvana fan, but yeah.
I would also be quite interested to see how early stages of a Sleep Token album sound.
Yeah,
because
see,
I would imagine that a lot of them might start off as just like piano and vocals only, and then they get layered up to what they are. But I don't know.
Yeah, they were like they're one of my favourite bands, and obviously they're one of the bands of the moment currently. So they were one of the first that came to my head. But then I thought kind of the appeal of a Sleep Token song is how well thought out and refined it is.
True.
So I don't know. I mean, their stripped back stuff's great, but
in like I wouldn't want to hear it now. In like
maybe once they were done,
20 years once they're done or something. 30 years once they're done. I don't know. Interesting.
Anyway,
do you have any others, James, that you'd think of?
My thought would be like, for me, favourite album, Iowa, to name a different Slipknot album. I think like with even more stories behind about the chaos and the carnage behind that, I'd love to hear about how some of those songs and some of those iconic riffs were done. I'm trying to think of other big albums, to be fair. I mean, staying on the similar route, I'd love to hear demos of American Idiot now. That being 20 years since coming up.
That's a good
I think that would be intriguing, because that was what probably thrust them to the high level of where they're at now and how they're perceived by so many people in like that big kind of band status. And it'd be interesting to hear like a 4-track of American Idiot while Billy Joe's trying to write it or something like that. I think would be very intriguing. And probably some old Blink stuff. Like Enema of the State would be quite interesting. Some of these big bands that you now kind of perceive to be like genre changing, or again a headline your big rock festivals in particular, how they changed from the beginning. Because like you say, there's 20, 30 years down the line. I think that's the nostalgia trip to go on.
Anyway, quite the tangent, but that was fun.
Alex, what did you recommend?
I recommended Turnover's Myself in the Way. Now, I didn't listen to this at the time that it came out. I love Peripheral Vision.
This sounds like a disclaimer.
I love Peripheral Vision. It is personal top 5 album of all time for me. I enjoy Supernatural. I actually very much enjoyed the Altogether, the one after that.
Not sure.
So I thought to myself, I understand the trajectory that they're going on and have been going on. So let's see what this album's like. But I just didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. It was just too... I don't know. It was just too foreign for what you expect a band to be. And I know that sounds silly because an artist can do whatever they want. But at the same time, it's just like... It gives me the impression that Peripheral Vision and to some extent Supernatural were so huge for the scene that they won't touch anything that sounds remotely like it with a 10-foot pole, and as a result they're making stuff like this, which is just not my cup of tea.
See, I think it's fine. Like it sounds okay. There's some points that are quite enjoyable, but and again, Alex, you mentioned the kind of trajectory they've been on. They've kind of been moving in this direction anyway, but it just feels like way too much of a departure, I think, from what their like Turnover's roots are.
Yeah.
And again, I also think the length of the album is an issue. I think if it was just a half an hour album, then they can maybe get away with it a bit easier, but it just seems to drag on quite a bit. I think it's about 45 or 46 minutes in total. So yeah, it's good to experiment. I think if you liked Peripheral Vision, you're not going to like this album.
No.
Whereas if this is your first Turnover album and you've kind of come from more sort of jazz and disco kind of surroundings, then you'd probably enjoy this. Speaking of which, James.
Also,
this is my
disclaimer.
first...
Disclaimer. I was just referring to the album Good Nature as Supernatural, so I'm an idiot. So just wanted to get that out there.
You're not an idiot, mate.
Someone in the comments goes, it's called Good Nature.
It's too late. They've already made the comment now.
I've read it now.
So this is my first Turnover album. However, I don't come from
It's crazy. Have we not recommended Peripheral Vision to you?
I don't think so. I don't come from the jazz or disco background, as you mentioned, Dan. I have one word written down for my listen from this.
Is it a 4-letter word that starts with an S?
No, what word are you thinking?
Shit.
No, I'd put nope.
Oh.
But
shit's better. You should have put shit.
Shit. All right then.
So
Yeah.
After I've just said the album's all right, I'm now going shit.
It's not for me. One listen through, and I was like, cool. I don't feel like I'm going to listen back to this again.
I didn't think you would.
For the audio listener, I've just found a piece of popcorn. And I popped it in my mouth.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, this was not for me. I did not enjoy it. I'm happy to move on to the next one. Basically, that's my summary.
I recommended this knowing full well you would not vibe with it.
Yeah.
So, not surprised, not offended.
Shit.
But I recommended this one, knowing that James would vibe with it, or having a good idea that he would probably vibe with it. Svalbard, The Weight of the Mask.
I vibed with it.
Straight to James.
I vibed with it. A lot of things I liked about it. My one main negative point is that it seemed for 9 songs too long. I think like 45 minutes in length, and as I kind of mentioned prior to all this to you, Dan, I think I'm getting too accustomed to songs being 2 to 3 minutes in length, and so then kind of returning to parts of metal in particular where songs are 4 minutes to 5.5 minutes. I struggled a little bit in kind of just retaining myself inside the song and listening to it. However, I feel like I could get into them a lot. Vocals sounded very sick in particular. Yeah, this could be something I'm going to really have to delve into. I found myself surprised by it because it's a name that I'd heard quite a fair bit. And I think with the name of it, I kind of made a presumption that it was going to kind of be like Viking metal.
Yeah.
I think, and that's probably why I stayed away from it.
I think I was the same. I think it took me a while to actually try it.
Yeah.
It was when the first album came out, and I think it came out early in 2020 perhaps. And by the end of the year, I was seeing it on a lot of people's album of the year lists. So I was thinking, all right, I'll give it a go. And that's when I got into this band.
Right. But yeah, I think like
and then this is a great follow up as well.
I think that I'm then going to have to delve back to that debut album in particular for myself. I think breaking away from that kind of idea of what I thought it was, now knowing what it is, I will be giving this repeat listens, and I will need to go and check back onto it. I was very intrigued by it.
Woo. Yeah, no, absolutely love it. I saw a review online that described it as this album sounds like heaven and hell at the same time, and I feel like that's just about the most perfect way to sum it up. Yeah, awesome, really awesome.
Awesome sauce.
I've thought of another 4-track album.
Oh, go on.
Anything by Modern Baseball.
This guy gets it. This guy absolutely gets it.
Because I think a lot of their songs would sound completely different.
Yeah,
from like their original demo.
For sure. Oh, brilliant. Now I'm thinking about Modern Baseball.
Me too.
Moving on to new music. First up, we've got a new single from Upon a Burning Body. It is Kill Shot. I think this is pretty sick. I think Upon a Burning Body have always been sick, to be honest with you. They've been on a really, really hot streak, I think, since
Southern Hospitality.
Yes, that was it. That was a brilliant album. Fury was a fun album.
Mm-hmm.
What was the single before? Oh, An Insatiable Hunger. That was fucking sick.
Yep.
I think they've done an EP as well. Everything's just been sick. Like, I've just been like, no complaints. It's great. Southern metalcore. And it's fun. And like I just can't complain.
I think this really feels like a song that's been written with the live show in mind.
Yep.
Like, even from the recording, like just listening to it, you're feeling the energy coming through as if you're listening to like a live recording or like you're at a live show.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ready, steady, aim, fire bit, although it's a bit corny, it's just fun. And again, like if you're in a crowd of people, you know everyone's going to be doing that almost countdown kind of thing with it as well. There's also like a breakdown call as well, where it's like aiming for the head, which again, live setting, everyone's yelling that, and then the pit's opening and going mad in it. Yeah, awesome, loads of energy.
I'm always impressed, I think, by the tone and range of Danny's screams. I think that's always something whenever I go back and listen to them, or if they put something new out, that just strikes me immediately. I forget, like, there's always conversations, I think, as new bands release new material, always thinking, oh yeah, I forgot how good that vocal is, and like, we'll get a Sam Carter, we'll get a Justin Bonnets, and we'll get a Courtney. You kind of constantly, there's a revolving door, and I kind of get that listening to Danny's stuff from Upon Him Own a Body in particular, and I think like this allows him to take center stage in this song very well and have a really strong performance. Musically, simple, solid, nothing unnecessary, and just some nice groovy stuff which I expect from them. I'm begging for them to come back to the UK, because I think I look back, I went and saw them in like 2015, 2016 supporting Five Finger Death Punch. I don't even think, if I'm sure, that they've been back to the UK since that tour. If not, it's been... Hey, look at me. I think it's been at least... Alex just laugh over there. It's been at least 6 years since they've been back. I am genuinely fucking begging, please come over. Whether you're added to like a download or a different festival next year, just fucking tour over here, because I want to see them live. You never got the chance, Ali, and we grew up on them a lot.
Yeah.
And the live shows, from what I've seen, are fucking amazing. Like, please tour over here.
Cool. The Ghost Inside released Death Grip. James, what do you think?
This is probably one of my better Ghost Inside songs since they've kind of come back, for me. Aftermath was good, I think, but it didn't quite resonate as much as older Ghost Inside. I found this much more better. I thought that the clarity and enunciation in the screams by Jonathan was just nice to hear again. Again, another vocalist where I hear songs and I'm reminded of how good he is. Absolutely solid instrumentation, some slamming riffs. Nothing popped out as majorly special in the song. However, it just seemed to all fit and was just quite natural. So yeah, a good one for it. Always a good band to see live. Now that I've managed to tick them off my box, if I was to go to Slam Dunk next year, which we'll see what happens with things as it all develops, they would be one of the standout bands to go and see. So if you have got a ticket and you're looking for some heavier bands to get into, I strongly urge to listen to more Ghost Inside and check it out. But for this song, yeah, it's a better return from some of the previous material that we've had recently.
Yeah, it's almost like since the Ghost Inside have come back, they've played some live shows. They put out an album, I think.
Yeah.
Not too long after coming back,
which it was all right.
Yeah, exactly. It was all right. This feels like they're actually making a statement with this one, particularly with the subject matter that the lyrics address, which is obviously going back to some of the things that they've been through as a band. I think that the lyrics in it, like, I see the Reaper, but I'm not afraid of him. That's a really kind of like statement piece, which I think is what this song is. Like I said, they've released an album and played some shows since they've come back, but this feels like the real kind of we're
return.
Back.
This is it. Yeah, I get that.
And like, we're here to stay. I think my main takeaway from the song as well is like, as in like sonically, is the way the drums just are pummeling all the way through, almost like driving you through the song.
Yeah.
And yeah, excellent. This is the return of the return.
Yes, I like it.
Well, what we have next is a new song from Neck Deep. We Need More Bricks, and I personally think this is a return to form for Neck Deep.
It is indeed.
Look at us, we're in agreement.
Mm-hmm. We were also in agreement that their more recent album, was it?
Sonderland.
No, it wasn't Sonderland. That's
All Distortions Are Intentional.
That's it. Yeah, I think we're in agreement that All Distortions Are Intentional wasn't a great album for us. I mean, a lot of people loved it, but personally, it felt like a bit of a departure away from what we loved about Neck Deep. But this was like a proper return. I think this song and a couple of the other singles that they've done for this upcoming album, some of the best stuff they've done, not quite ever, but maybe since some of the Peace and the Panic stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's got me really excited for this new album.
I agree. I feel like All Distortions feels like a blip. and like we can kind of move on. That chapter didn't happen. We can ignore it. It's hidden out peripheral vision. And I agree. Everything since then, kind of, the singles have got me a lot more interested, and I feel like my love and my anticipation for a Neck Deep release is now returning properly, and I can look forward to the album coming out next year. I felt like this had so much energy. The tempo is so strong without it. The drum performance in particular, just being really enjoyable to listen to.
The drum performance is an interesting one as well because it's the first album without Danny, I believe.
Yeah. And so like I found that really, really fun. Bass tone was gorgeous throughout. Absolutely love that. And it just feels like you can pick out everyone's parts quite distinctly. And you can hear this is what's happening here, this is what's happening here, but then it all comes together quite naturally. And I found that flow throughout the whole song wonderful. Breakdown was lovely. Love that halftime section. Yeah, very, very enjoyable. And Neck Deeper back? Can we say that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-imposed pressure around this album because they've made it self-titled.
Yeah.
And said, don't, this is us definitive, which I think is brave. I would never do such a thing. But
It couldn't be me.
couldn't be me. But they've definitely backed it up with this one. Like, this is fantastic. This is one of their best songs. No, it's not as good as Shut the Fuck Up, is it?
I think that's the best one that's come out so far, but then
This
I think
is very
this is
good.
better
This is
than...
very, very good. This is the second best one.
Oh, what was it? Heartbreak of the Century. This is better than that.
It's kind of like, as they're releasing songs, you're going, okay, tick.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
tick. Okay, yeah, I like that one.
It's really coming along nicely, and I was less thinking about Ali Pali in March, and now I'm starting to think more about I'm going to go to Ali Pali in March and see them headline it. And with I think Knucklepuck are supporting.
And Drain.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a lot of fun.
Big
and
show.
so I think maybe we have a discussion after this and see if we go in.
I think I've already got a ticket. Also, I quite like Political Neck Deep.
Yep.
We saw some flashes of it on
Peace.
on the Peace and the Panic.
Yep.
But yeah, Ben's always very active on socials, sort of
On the
calling out stuff that shouldn't be happening. Then yeah, it's back on this song, and I'd quite like to see more of it. It's nice to see like some genuine views and like heart going into a song.
Yeah.
Because there's some bands out there, I won't name names, that claim to be kind of making a stand for stuff that aren't Idols.
I knew I was about to say Idols.
I nearly genuinely didn't name a name, but then
I went Idols.
Idols.
No, it is, but I think it's ridiculous because Idols are trying to promote their upcoming album.
It's clear why they haven't done it. They've probably
That's
been
why.
told by the label or something, haven't they?
They said
Because
don't say
they're
anything.
like major label people now.
But, you wrote the lyrics to Danny and Adelko.
Exactly.
Fucking live by them.
Stand by 'em.
Oh.
Anyway,
We'll go through it afterwards. Next up, we got a new song from Better Lovers, Two Alive Amongst the Dead. Now, this is hot off the press, considering the EP was very recent, and this is meant to be, to some extent, a side project. To some extent. But I say that because Will Putney is a busy man. But I fucking love it. That it seems like they're having so much fun as a unit that they're like, why wait? Why hit the brakes at all? They've already announced their UK shows next year, which includes Trees and a couple of headline shows. It just sounds like the whole vibe from everything that they're doing is just, this is so much fun, and we cannot stop doing it. And this song is the same. It's just like chaotic brilliance. So,
I mean, my first thought straight away was just wonderful control chaos. I felt like this in particular, the vocals and the instrumentals really like suited and complemented each other extremely well. Bass tone beautiful. It's just unrelenting going throughout it, and that's just the sound that they've obviously developed through this. I don't think this is as good as anything that came off God Made Me an Animal, but I still love it. I think like though that 4-track was absolutely fucking incredible, and it's nothing against this song. I think those were just so good. Probably right now, go into the band that I'm most excited to see at 2000 Trees, and seeing clips of live shows and the chaos and the carnage. I think it will just be something, maybe not to the same levels, but you look back at previous years, recently when we've gone, will be almost Heck performance, where I think
for
knowing
sure.
Greg for what he's like as well, is going to be everywhere. There's going to be shit happening constantly, and I think that's going to make it so dynamic and memorable going and watching that. So I'm thoroughly excited for that in particular, and everything this band is doing right now, they've got my attention.
They've got to be an Outbreak. Sure.
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
Surely. Considering Every Time I Die were booked for 2022.
Yeah, anyone could be an Outbreak at this point.
Dan.
Yeah, I love this song. Like James said, Controlled Chaos. It's like thrash meets hardcore kind of vibes going on there.
Yeah.
Just mental stuff. I do feel like with the subject matter behind the lyrics, there's a bit of targeting going on potentially. But yeah, awesome song. Really exciting band. Looking forward to more.
Next up, we got a new one from Alf Wolf. Bring Back the Noise.
And that they
Bring
did.
it back. Sorry.
Where my dog's at.
Where my dog's at.
I mean, just unrelenting as well. Lucky sounds sick. Groovy moments. I can't listen to this without like just having my head bopping along. One of my most anticipated bands for Download 24, because I've wanted to see this band for quite a while now. And I love the song. I'm just so excited by it, and hearing new Alf Wolf. Drum performance in particular stands out really, really strongly. I think the snare has such a nice tone. Yeah, I'm fucking hyped on Alf Wolf right now anyway, as it is. So knowing this was coming out, I was excited, and it lived up to the hype for me. I love it. Easy.
This feels like it's quite a short song. It feels like one that you take in bite-sized chunks, but also because of that, it's got such a replayability about it that once you've had one go round, you want to go again, and then again. Almost like you're at Alton Towers, the fast track, or
not you,
not me,
or you've eaten one Cadbury Hero and you just keep going back for more.
Not a corners, mate.
Until all of the 12s are gone.
Oh, I love a 12.
I love a 12. Best chocolate in a Heroes box. We can say that, can't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
Brilliant.
Do like a Dairy Milk as well, but a 12 is basically
Classic,
the same thing, but with added air.
I'm partial to a little whisper.
Do you love a good whisper?
Say that again.
Little whisper. But Alex, Alf Wolf, Bring Back the Noise.
Simply for the lyric of Where My Dog's At alone. Song of the Year contender. Ludicrous. It's just sick. They're just so sick. They just don't fuck around. That's what I like about them. I really respect that. It's just like, I'm going to dick around with some bullshit 40-second intro. It's just like, we're just going to kick your head in straight away.
They're fucking around and finding out.
Yeah. They're fucking around and I'm finding out.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
great
that's
music.
better.
That's better.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
That could be the TikTok clip.
Last of the singles, we've got Graphic Nature with Fractured. A lovely single ahead of their headline show at the Underworld in December. And my word.
I'll tell you
what a
what.
song.
We love Graphic Nature on this podcast. This might be my new favourite Graphic Nature song. And I like a lot of their songs.
Oh, yeah, I'll say.
Mainly because it's a definitive Graphic Nature song to me. It's kind of got every part of what makes them good kind of wrapped up into this song.
I feel like if I was to introduce someone to Graphic Nature, I'd actually start with this song.
Yeah.
It hits everything you would hear from what you'd hear from any other song. It's everything wrapped up in one.
It almost summarises. It's like if you put every song from A Mind Waiting to Die into a blender and just mixed it all up, poured it out into a cup. This is what you're sipping.
Yeah, it's tasty.
And that, like, what would you even describe it as? Garage? Like that garage drum and bass beat? Ludicrous. Who does that? These guys, and I love it. More of it, please. Fucking so sick.
But again, it's got everything that we love about Graphic Nature. It's got some amazing screams. It's got the drum and bass beat down at the end. It's got an actual breakdown as well. Just brilliant.
I think
love this band.
They've developed such a unique and incredible sound that you can tell identifiably as them immediately. And I can really hear a lot of new metal influences in this, in particular.
Oh yeah. There's some massive Slipknot bits in this.
100%. And I think there's like so much passion throughout it. You kind of get that with a lot of Harvey's vocals anyway. The lines, he had like "Help Me Feel Fucking Normal" at one point, and like you hear that, like it's coming through and reaching at you.
I can't remember which lyric it is, but there's one point where all the music stops and Harvey's just screaming something, and then it all comes back in again.
It cuts through and it feels like it's reaching out through like your headphones or whatever to you. Not many bands can do that, and I think when it comes down to when we have our discussion soon about bands of the year and all this kind of thing, I feel they should be up there as a contender because Graphic Nature have had a phenomenal 2023. Everything they've got, they've deserved, and they still deserve more.
Yeah, and a lot of that's come from some proper hard work as well.
Yeah, they've grafted.
And I think saying yes to basically every opportunity. There's look how many lineups and tours and shit they've been on this year. They've really, really grafted. And I think it's paid off. I mean, Harvey posted, I can't remember the exact numbers, but Harvey posted like the difference between their artist Spotify Wrapped last year and this year. I think it's jumped from like 200,000 to like nearly a million or something.
I think it's even around about that ballpark.
Yeah. That's massive for a band of their size on a debut album. Fair play to them.
They deserve it.
I want to say as well, and I don't mean this to put pressure on, but I honestly think they're on the precipice of making like an era and genre defining body of work like in the next 5 years, in the way that we look back at like Slipknot Self-Titled and Hybrid Theory as like
I agree.
as like perfect crossovers of like hip hop and metal. I feel like what they're doing with metalcore and like drum and bass garage, like UK dance music, the way that they're incorporating that into their sound, I don't think anyone, either no one else does it, or at least no one else does it as well as they do. And they're a band that have been around for a really short amount of time. So
they're cooking for sure.
They're cooking for sure. Like everything they've done so far is sick as fuck, and they're only going to get better. So I think, in the next 5 years, we're going to hear something from them that's going to be like a blueprint for other people to follow.
I agree. There's something happening with Graphic Nature, and everyone needs to be watching out for it.
No pressure, boys.
Yeah, no pressure.
Because I think at least a couple of them listen to this. So good luck.
Moving on to some... Moving on now to EPs and albums. The first one we've got to talk about is Spirit Box with The Fear of Fear. Now, I was not positive.
I'll tell you what, this is the one on this episode's reviews that I've been most interested about.
Yeah, me too. Now,
I don't think any of us want to go first.
I'll go first. All the singles that we got leading up to this, I thought were meandering. I was like, I don't get it. It's just like, for a band who Eternal Blue, and even like singles like Constance and shit from before Eternal Blue, it was really exciting metalcore. And then Rotoscope was just whatever to me. And then the singles leading up to this I thought were a bit whatever. And then listening it to now as a whole EP, I get it. And it clicked for me. And I was like, oh, actually, it's kind of sick. You kind of just inhabit this world for however long the EP is. Let me check.
25 minutes and 5 seconds.
25 minutes. Oh, that's almost an album as well. An album's half an hour minimum. And I actually was like, once I got into the mindset of just being in that soundscape for 25 minutes, I loved it. I don't know what happened, because it's the same song, like especially the singles, like Jaded and Celador last episode, I think I was shitting all over it. And now I'm like, oh, actually, it's kind of fucking sick. So I don't know what's happened.
As an opener.
Yeah, as an opener.
Yeah, it comes right in and just rips you.
And I think Too Close Too Late, brilliant song. Basically, I'm trying to actually wrap my head around it, because I've gone from hating it and hating, like, not hating, I've gone from like disliking or being a bit disinterested to suddenly being like, this is brilliant. So help me unpack that, please.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly with you on that. I think with the singles, they were, again, a little bit all over the place, and it felt like, and still to an extent, it feels like Spirit Box are kind of going through a mini identity crisis at the moment. Eternal Blue, incredible album, but as you said, Alex, it was mostly just a solid metalcore album. there were elements of kind of the lighter stuff as well, which again, Courtney's got an incredible vocal range, which they kind of explored a bit more on the Rotoscope EP, although that was only 3 songs. And they've kind of done that on here as well. There's almost I think they've got the balance right on this EP. I think it's almost like half really heavy shit and then half a bit more of kind of exploration. But I think on the next album, I think is when they're going to sort of really find what they're looking for with this, because I think they're getting closer. I think they need to just find what they want to do with this balance of. I'm trying to think of how to word it really. This balance of lighter, not quite Sleep Token stuff, but almost progressive sort of floats around kind of music. And also the relentlessly heavy shit, because they've nailed that.
Yeah,
they've got the latter down to a T. They've nailed that, but I think they still need to find what they're doing with getting like piecing the two kind of halves together, kind of thing, which they've almost done on this EP. But it feels like it's heavy song, light song, heavy song, light song, and there isn't the blending on an individual song kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I
think that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I feel as well like, and I don't mean this to sound like as much of a dig as it's gonna sound, but Eternal Blue felt like a bit of a, I don't want to say lucky, but like they'd caught lightning in a bottle, and I felt like since then they've been stumbling around trying to find it again, and I feel like the next album's going to be a bit of a test of like,
it's something that we've mentioned with a few bands recently, like Spanish Love Songs and Movements, where they've essentially made their magnum opus. They're probably not going to make an album objectively as good as what they've done, so they make a big jump away from it.
Yeah,
which is maybe what Spirit Box are experimenting with a little bit. But I think it's harsh to say that as well, because there were hints of it on Eternal Blue. So it's probably a direction they were always going to take. But it's almost like they're forcing themselves to take a step away from it, while also still keeping elements of it. And again, they just need to work out how to piece those two halves together. They're kind of conflicted, like Anakin Skywalker.
Go on, James.
James has been sat there taking it all in.
I don't have much else to add, to be fair. It took me a good few listens to kind of understand it more, I think.
Yeah, I want to
First
add that
listen,
as well. Yeah.
I hated it. First listen, I really didn't enjoy it.
I hate you!
I don't like you!
It was an Anakin Skywalker impression.
This... I like how you phrased Identity Crisis, Dan. I do feel like that is something where there was so much hype and excitement after Eternal Blue in particular, where everyone was talking about Spirit Box. And maybe, like you say, they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle again, essentially. And like Rotoscope, I can...
Alex said that.
Alex,
I don't want to take credit for that.
Ali. Rotoscope I hated. I just did not enjoy it in the slightest. This is much better, but I still feel like they don't know who they are and what they're trying to aim for.
What we're saying is they need to go backpacking for a while and find themselves.
Yeah, go find yourselves. Go do a little interrailing around Europe or something.
Yeah. Maybe seasonal work in Australia.
Yeah,
6 months.
go for it.
But instead they're going to Reading and Leeds.
Oh god. I think Celador and Jaded are my favourite too, and it's a strong way to start the EP. And it does go slightly downish from there.
But then Angel-Eyes, man.
No, it's good. But I think those are my favourite too.
It rips.
Personally. I find, weirdly, based on like the grand scheme of everything they've released, they can simultaneously be an absolutely great band and a mid band at the same time. And that's where the identity stuff comes in, because
you're actually right though.
You hit the nail on the head.
like they don't
So
know where
perfect.
they are, because there are songs which fucking slap, and then it's just like, what the hell is this? And I can't. They come across mostly as a metalcore band, and some of it can sound sometimes quite generic, and doesn't stand out in a very crowded and big metalcore scene. I think there isn't anything defining about them. And I think the one thing I would keep going until I'm red in the face with it, they need to utilise Josh Gilbert more.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't, I don't know if you
fully
know
agree.
this, because they released some bits from when they were recording it. He doesn't even play bass on any of this. It's Mike. He plays all the bass parts on it. Josh went in and did some backing vocals and that's it, but very faint stuff.
Fucking where?
He knows metalcore.
The backing vocals in the room with us.
Exactly. He knows metalcore. He's a producer as well. And I looked into it. I hadn't known. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's produced some good stuff.
He was doing a lot of production
knows
on
a lot of
Awakened by Asladine.
Yeah. And even prior to
AKA
that.
their best album.
Yeah. That he knows what he's doing with metalcore and as a genre that they're trying to do. He will have a fountain of knowledge with it, not just for bass tones, vocal sounds, things like that. He will help Spiritbox, I think, hopefully on the next album. They have to trust in him and give him reign with some of it, I think. Because some of it, to me, does feel sometimes like the Courtney and Mike show.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think it needs to open up and be... Because I think they'd lost members previously and they kept it as those two, because I remember photo shoots of just them. It needs to feel like Spiritbox is a band. And to me, it doesn't feel like that yet. And I think that's what's holding them back.
I do wonder whether Josh Gilbert's involvement in this EP is dependent on how far back this was all recorded. Because it could be that they did it either before or as he was joining the band.
In the same clip I saw, he's in there doing vocals when they're doing...
Yeah, but we don't. But does that mean he might have just gone in afterwards just to add something, kind of thing? It might have been like he joined the band and they were like, "Hey, we've written these," and he was like, "Okay, I'll take a look at it." And then he's kind of had a producer influence and gone, "We should add these vocals or something." Again, this is all speculation. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. His lack of involvement on this, or his minimal involvement on this, might be because the songs were basically done already, and maybe we'll see more of him on the next release.
Yeah, it might also be that he has maybe, again, this is just pure speculation, but it might be that there's been some sort of internal discussion where he said, my clean singing is so heavily associated with a certain band.
Maybe.
I don't want to do it. I'd rather just play the bass. And that'd be it.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on behind players' doors, essentially.
But sing, man, you've got some great pipes on you.
If you were to go back and listen to The Sound of Truth, in particular, by them, and his intro with the clean vocals, that with Spiritbox, chef's kiss. But we shall see. The future is yet to be written.
I remember
Wow.
I just remembered something else I wanted to say about Neck Deep.
Oh, go on.
They have quietly blown up.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't realised this.
I hadn't realised. I don't know if it's because everyone's listening in America or overseas somewhere, but they've now got 3.3 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Which, to put things into perspective, is 1 million more than Sleep Token currently have.
You guys seen the rumours about them possibly doing one of the headline slots of Trees?
There's been rumours the last couple of years for them to do Trees.
I think this is the perfect time for them.
And the last bit of new music to talk about is Dying Wish's sophomore album, Symptoms of Survival.
I think this is extremely well crafted. Full of incredible riffs, amazing instrumental sections. Emma sounds fantastic on this. And it feels like they're honing in on something special that's quite unique to them in like the deathcore kind of genre that we're coming to with it. I think the album flows effortlessly from one song to another. I love the fact that I've read the interview with her afterwards, but I made the connection myself. That Path to Your Grave feels like the spiritual successor to Fragments as a song. And she said...
It's my favourite song on the album, by the way.
It's one up there for me. And she'd made that connection herself. I think it was an interview with Kerrang or something like that. But listening to it and just hearing the lyrics, I was like, this is giving me those kind of vibes immediately. And it feels like they are a perfect part one and part two of each other.
There's a lot of bands doing part ones and twos now.
It does. Like it. I really enjoy it. It feels like for newer fans getting into it, it's just a really lovely and fantastically made song. But for older fans, you'll kind of get that.
But then the older fans are screaming at that newer fan going, you don't understand.
Listen to this one.
You like the song, but you don't like it as much as me because I know the original one.
I feel like Paved in Sorrow was a welcoming song halfway through the album and was an amazing palate cleanser.
Coming after Path to Your Grave as well.
Exactly.
So it's kind of needed.
It was like that breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Starved, Watch My Promise Die, Torn From Your Silhouette, amazing songs. I love this album. I think it's fantastic, and I find myself listening to them more and more now, and I can't fucking wait to see them at Download next year.
I've not got much more to add to that, really. What I will add is one of my favourite parts about this album is kind of the subtle dissonance that's on most of the tracks on this album. I think it's most noticeable on, I think it's Symptoms of Survival, literally the opening track, where there's just like this dissonant riff just lurking in the background. It's almost like it's a monster in the shadows that like is there, but you're almost trying to kind of like not pay attention to it, but you can't help but hear it. But it's also not in a way that kind of distracts. It's again, like, it's dissonant, so it's meant to not fit the song as that well, but it does. It's just, yeah, it gives the feeling that there's something like lurking in the shadows kind of thing, and it's a theme that kind of plays throughout the whole album, whether it's a riff or like an ad lib or like some backing vocals or something. There's always that air of kind of mystery and atmosphere, like to the back of the tracks.
I think you're both spot on. It's everything that you want a sophomore album to be, in the sense that it's everything that was good about Fragments, refined, better, production's better, I would say. I think thing that about Fragments and I love that album, there were times where some of the songwriting from section to section was a bit disjointed. This album has significantly better flow and like feel to it. And I think Emma's vocals, she was already great on Fragments, so much better. And I think that's a testament to like how much live, how much they've been playing live, like between the making of Fragments and this one, is that her voice is just stronger and better in like every way. I think, yeah, it's just brilliant. Just a brilliant like next step to keep them and their momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Can't really praise it enough there, can we? A good month of reviews, I'd say.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
One of our better months, potentially. I'll give the briefest look forward to upcoming releases. They're sweet fuck all.
Hey.
We're coming at that point of year where just nothing's being released. It's Crimbo time.
Advent calendar starts tomorrow.
Huh?
God, it
Advent
does.
calendar starts tomorrow. That's fucked, isn't it?
Mariah Carey will be thawed by tomorrow, and she'll be singing Christmas songs again.
We've left her on the side in the kitchen.
She's defrosting
next to the vanilla cheesecake.
So, yeah, don't expect much else coming.
Michael Bublé's long defrosted.
Oh yeah, he's been ready. He's done a few warm-up shows.
He's in an Asda ad.
He's doing an Asda ad.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Hard times.
So we'll move on to Gig Talk, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, let's segue on to Gig Talk. Speaking of Michael Bublé,
we went straight from the path, Dan.
hell yeah, we did.
Roundhouse.
What an amazing show.
Biggest headline show they've done.
It was their biggest ever headline show, I believe.
Fucking incredible.
I think a lot of it comes down to the absolutely stacked support lineups they
yeah,
had.
for sure. I mean, like Gnosis, I hadn't listened to anything or heard of them beforehand. They were absolutely incredible. Blown away by them.
And then Void of Vision, who we saw supporting Holding Absence at the start of the year.
And brought the year full circle in a way.
Almost, yeah.
Make Them Suffer. I'd heard of them a bit beforehand, and I ended up paying for some of it. Realised I knew a lot more than I thought I did as well. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and now I'm kind of on the train there listening to more of them. It all felt like a wonderful lead up to Stray in a long, amazing headline set. Blown away by it, as good as ever. We've seen them 3 times this year, 4 times probably roughly in a calendar year.
Yeah, it was essentially last November that we saw them in Bristol.
And it just feels like they're just going from strength to strength to strength. Again, like Euthanasia seems to have given them a massive push forward into the metal landscape, I think. And
yeah, it definitely has.
This.
It's got a lot more eyes on them, as it deservedly has. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that it's their best album.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Alex here.
Album of the year last year for us on
our
awards. So.
It was. With reason. Which makes me extremely excited. I imagine this was probably the last tour they're going to do for a while. Maybe some festivals next year, because they've done the rounds for a couple of years. I feel like they're going to hunker away. They've been saying they've been in the studio with good old Putney. and crafting away, which makes me very, very excited. And so,
anyway, let's talk about the show itself.
Yeah, Christ.
They had like a big something being covered by a curtain, and we were kind of speculating over what it could be, and then it finally clicked. Obviously, it's going to be a guillotine.
Of course.
Alas, curtain comes up, massive guillotine behind Craig's kit.
Absolutely.
And then they open with guillotine as well, which is insane.
Firing on all cylinders straight away.
Yeah.
Ringleader surprised me about how much it went off. I absolutely loved that. Every time hearing Fortune Teller and the crowd singing like the melody. Honestly, every time I've heard that live now, that still gets me. And that's... There's a few songs that come to mind that when you think of seeing them live, you can hear the crowd in your head. I think of stuff like In a Way In Between by Beartooth. I can hear the crowd doing like the woes with Caleb. And now I have Fortune Teller in my head because that's become such a big thing.
Well, it's one of those that when you go back and listen, or it comes up on shuffle or something, you go back and listen to it on record, you're transported back to those live moments.
Immediately. And I think there are not many bands that can produce a song like that where immediately you're transported to a live scenario when you've seen it or anything like that. And again, absolutely incredible. First time seeing Ladder Work.
I was going to say Ladder Work was really cool.
Fucking sick. Really, really fun. May have been the first time seeing Law Abiding Citizen. I can't remember if we've seen it before. But if we haven't, I think we've only seen it once. And that was really cool. I mean, it was all the ones you wanted to hear as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly heavily leaning towards euthanasia in terms of the set list.
Yeah,
but that's to be expected. Firstly, it's kind of the album that they're on the cycle for at the moment. But secondly, again, it's seemingly their most popular album. It's got them to the heights where they're headlining the Roundhouse.
Yep.
So why wouldn't they play more songs from that? Chess Candy, huge once again.
Goodnight Alt-Right is one of my favourite Pit songs. Because that's just...
Yeah.
That gets feral when that breakdown comes in.
It was really cool as well. I ended up quite close to the front for part of the set. And there were a lot of times where Drew was putting the microphone down and kind of engaging with the people at the front by just shouting at them.
Yeah.
Or gesturing them to like jump the fuck up and things. Which I think is just a really nice touch. It kind of adds that extra bit of crowd interaction. Because even though there was like a few thousand people in that room, like he's interacting with, especially with those people on the front row, as like addressing them, addressing the people over there, addressing the people to the left, addressing the people at the back, addressing the people on the balcony. Everyone in that room was kind of included in what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there, but I will add, he is one of the best frontmen in heavy music.
Agreed.
He's great.
And I think in general with that, and I think back to the Download one in particular, because that blew me away. Them as a band, I think, are one of the best live bands you could go and see right now.
He made Download feel like a headline set.
Yeah.
The way that he was controlling that crowd, you could have told me every single person there was there for Straight from the Path only that weekend. Like that's how it felt.
The crowd they pulled at Download as well was fucking incredible.
Can I ask a question?
Go. Ask a question.
It was an upgrade, venue upgrade. This might not go in. How full would you say the venue was?
The standing area felt full.
Sweet. Yeah, seated. There were
seated.
Spaces
They'd done
there.
that thing where they pulled the curtain across a bit, so it was clear the seated tickets hadn't sold that well. But who the fuck wants to be sat down at a Straight from the Path show?
True.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, that's awesome.
Not being ableist, like
yeah. You have to.
Just wanted to get the Brent disclaimer in there.
They are, and like I say, an incredible live band. Makes me sad to see that they're not going to be around much next year. I'm hoping
we don't know that.
We don't know. Festival appearances. I'd love that. 2000 Trees appearance would be beautiful. Would you say?
Shut your mouth.
It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah.
I mean, they were due to play it in 2020 or 2021, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. I can't remember. They were due to play Slam Dunk one year as well, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was when the
broke his
Beartooth
back.
tour was happening.
Yeah.
When he broke his back.
Might have been that as well.
My back is broken.
Intro.
So your Craig Reynolds impression?
No, that's that Mike Tyson video. Have you not seen it?
I've not seen it, no.
He's just won a fight and he's getting interviewed in the ring and he's like, well, Mike, how did that one feel? And he's like, my back is broken. And then the guy goes, what do you mean your back is broken? He just goes, spinal.
I need to get into boxing.
Dan, you went to the Wonder Years.
I did go to the Wonder Years. Yes, I had an excellent time seeing them play The Greatest Generation in full. I don't think I have a favourite Wonder Years album, but a few of the songs from that album are some of my favourites, and there's a few songs as well that we might not hear again live. So again, amazing. The Wonder Years seem to love celebrating their albums as well. They've just come off the back of celebrating Suburbia and the Upsides, the 10-year anniversaries of those, straight into a 10-year anniversary of this one. Who knows? Will they do a No Closer to Heaven anniversary tour? We'll see. But yeah, awesome. They just with these anniversary shows as well, they don't just play the album, they'll also do like an extra bit on the side. So for this show, they played the album in full, 13 tracks, which ended up being like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then an extra sort of half an hour on top of that, just of some classics and some hits as well, which is always good. Support from, I've forgotten the first one, Mississippi.
Oh, that's a great name.
It's a great name. I don't think you'd like them though, James.
No, okay.
I enjoyed them. I don't know if they quite fit in with a Wonder Years tour, because I think Alex would be a big fan actually. It's kind of a bit Taylor Swift, but with a bit more guitar.
You're speaking my language.
So maybe one for a recommendation for you at some point.
I'll check that out for sure.
And then Origami Angel, who I saw at Trees. I don't know if you guys saw them at Trees.
I saw a bit.
You recommended an album recently as well.
I did recommend their album recently, yeah. I think the only thing that I think is missing from their live performances, maybe they need to draft in some session musicians, because those because they're a two-piece when they play live, and I mean the band is a two-piece, but when they play live as well, they're just a two-piece, guitar and drummer. And I think that some of those guitar parts are so intricate that it means that you're kind of sacrificing any kind of stage presence. Vocals still sounded great, but there's just not quite that crowd interaction and that kind of back and forth of the energy that you kind of want from it. And they're high energy songs, so you kind of expect the crowd to be going nuts, but I think the crowd probably needed a bit of encouragement to move about a bit, but there wasn't really much movement going on. But we'll talk about the venue now as well, because I'd heard some mixed things. I was told by everyone at work that Shepherd's Bush Empire is an excellent venue, that I'd really love it. But also I saw a Twitter thread that was asking people what their least favourite UK venue was. And there were two venues being battered around a lot. One of them was Alexandra Palace. The other one was Shepherd's Bush Empire. So I didn't really know what I was getting into. But when I first walked into the venue, I thought it was really cool. It's got like an old school theatre kind of vibe. It's all like grand with like stained glass windows and stuff. Looks amazing. It was when it started to fill up where I was a bit like, okay, this is a bit tight. And it's one of those situations a bit like Bristol O2 Academy and maybe to an extent Kentish Town Forum, where the standing area has this main standing bit down some steps, but also a standing area on like a balcony bit at the top.
Yeah,
but obviously everyone wants to be in that front bit, so you get bottlenecks by the steps. It's really squashed in at the front. I'm really babbling on, so I think some of this might get cut, and I hope it does. And then once the band started as well, I seem to notice there's actually a slight incline towards the stage.
Oh, interesting.
No, decline. Yeah, incline towards the stage, actually. So anyone stood in front of you is kind of stood on ground a little bit taller than you.
Why?
So
It's like the opposite of Brixton.
yeah, essentially the opposite of Brixton. So there's points where I kind of realised as it started to fill up, I was like, I can't see the stage.
Yeah, and you're not
And
short.
I'm not sure.
No,
No, I'm not short.
you're not short.
I'm 5'11", I'll have you know. Not quite 6 foot.
6 on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. 6 foot when I first wake up.
Yep.
6 foot laying down.
Go on.
But yeah, there's a slight... James is out for about 30 seconds now. There's a slight incline towards the stage, so anyone stood in front of you, you can't really see. But which worked to my favour in a way, because it forced me to push through the crowd and get in the pit a bit, just so I could see what was going on. But to anyone smaller than me, they're probably just listening to the music, not really seeing anything. which is a shame.
That's sad.
But the Wonder Years were great. Unfortunately, it might be the last time I see them for a while. But
You have
we'll
that memory
see.
at least.
yes, I've seen them play The Greatest Generation in full.
You can say that.
Have that.
I went to Holding Absence recently. Worked out that it was my 5th time seeing them this year. Ended up taking one of my mates.
Wow.
5th time this year because January in Oxford. Slam Dunk. And then they did 2 sets at Trees, didn't they? Forest and
Trees times 2, yeah.
main stage. So this being the 5th one. Took a mate with me, and it was his first ever live gig, so he'd never seen any kind of experience like that before. And it was quite funny just to watch his experience seeing them particularly and just kind of taking it all in. It was a wonderful gig. First band, Dark Divine, like billed as like a almost creepy rock band, I think it was I saw. Very, very good. Very much enjoyed them. They were interesting to watch. Thornhill were the main support. I wasn't really blown away. I found it a bit meh. Personally, just didn't really click with me. But then, yeah, Holding Absence. This is up there. I think the Forest set was special in one way in particular. This was the best headline performance of their own tour that I've seen, though. Hearing a couple of the new songs live that hadn't done before, Scissors pops the fuck off. And Angel in the Marble as a closer is incredibly beautiful. So
I think that's the main thing that I'm annoyed about for not going on, or not being able to make it to these
finished
shows.
the main set with Wilt, and encore being Celebration Song, Afterlife, Angel in the Marble. The set list was perfect, in my opinion. The transition from False Dawn to Scissors live, as good as it is on the album with that. Coming out with Head Prison Blues was really, really cool as well. It just felt absolutely incredible. Crowd ridiculously loud. Going to a different venue, I think, is always a nice one as well. Went to Engine Rooms in Southampton.
And they had confetti.
It went off during Celebration Song. That was very, very cool. Yeah, I love this band immensely. I think due to you, one of you two, I think, recommended it to me. I
think I recommended them to both of you.
And then it just got to the point where, look, here we are now with it all.
Either that or we kind of discovered The Greatest Generation. Not The Greatest Generation.
Greatest Mistake of My Life.
Greatest Mistake of My Life.
Yeah. But yeah, this absolutely fucking incredible show. A lot of really, really cool memories from that. Had a little cheeky crowd surf during Aching Longing, as it was calling. Yeah, phenomenal. I can't stress how good it was enough. And that is my second to last gig of the year, which is kind of making me sad that we're wrapping down at the end of the year. I have one more left next Friday, and then that is it.
2 more for me, I think.
Who you got?
I've got the Front Bottoms, if I actually get around to getting tickets. They're coming to Oxford, can you believe that?
Crazy.
Mental. And Sleep Token at Wembley.
And we've got Of Mice and Men
Of
in
Mice
Oxford.
and Men in Oxford.
Again, can't believe they're coming to
forgot
Oxford.
about that as
That's
well.
a bit of a strange one of them
With
being in Oxford.
Caskets.
Supporting, which I'm...
Decent support, you know.
After enjoying some of their previous stuff, seeing them at Download this year, I was disappointed by the sound in the tent.
I think they were let down.
And so I'm kind of going to go into this with a fresh approach, I think, and hope it's going to be better.
Speaking of shit venues, it's at the O2 in Oxford, which is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
We're going to have to push our way to the front pretty sharpish.
Oh, sorry. Me and my mates are getting pit. That was something that was legitimately said to us when we saw Trivium in Oxford. Oh, sorry, mate. Me and my friends are getting pit.
I said that at the light switch on. Josh.
Fantastic.
We were stood near the back and I was like, excuse me, we're getting pit. It was while a kid's choir was going on. I was like, getting pit. My mate's over there.
Christ.
Carrying 6 beers. Christmas has come early.
Hey!
It's not the only one. Let's do that again. It was wholesome and then I fucking ruined it. I can't do it seriously now. Christmas has come early in the form of Spotify Wrapped. Now, it all dropped yesterday, but the 3 of us have been celibate. we
Wow. Wow.
we are
We've abstained from opening the Spotify Wrapped until we were all in the same room together.
because we're gonna predict each other's top 5 artists and react to each other's Spotify Wrapped. So there's no hiding if there's any guilty pleasures in there now.
Alex.
Shall we do Alex first?
Yeah,
Cool.
go on.
How much do we want to see all this bullshit?
Yeah, let's read all the bullshit.
Read
Alright.
through it and then you can cut what you need to.
You listen to 44 genres. This year, your listening took you places. and the one place listened just like you, Colorado Springs, USA. People there are far more likely to be fans of Sleep Token, This Wildlife, and The Story So Far.
Okay.
Don't forget to pause when you get to the top 5 artists.
You played 2,545 songs in 2023, and there was one that really connected. It was my top song. Any guesses?
Top song.
Your top song.
I thought it would be this. Now, the reason I thought it would be this is because now I'm a playlister by habit, and this particular song is the first song on a playlist that I've been spamming.
Is it of a certain band or is it a mixed
Yeah,
playlist?
so what I do is I make playlists of a band and put like all of their songs in one playlist. Or all of my favourite songs in a playlist.
Is it The Hammer by Kubla Khan?
No.
Oh, I felt like that would
I
have been a
thought it
really
would be.
good guess.
Oh, God, I don't know.
Is it Kubla Khan?
But because it's a band that you've binged, I feel like it's one that we've seen live this year.
That's why I knew you really got into them this year in particular. Is it hardcore?
It is hardcore.
Is it Speed?
It is Speed.
Oh,
I've not seen
okay.
Speed
I
live.
can't remember songs.
It's One
but
Blood We Bleed by Speed.
Ah,
It's the start of my Speed
at me go.
playlist. That was my top song.
playlist.
You played it 54 times this year,
Strong effort.
but you had room in your heart for more than one favourite. So does this go out to be my top 5 songs?
I guess probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I guessing them or we'll just react?
Go
Let's
with
just
those.
guess. We'll just guess top 5 artists.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, my top 5 songs were as follows. Number 5, Growing Up Song by Anxious. Number 4, Theory of Mind, Kubla Khan. Number 3, Not That Nice, Speed. Number 2, Your One Way Street, Anxious. Number 1, One Blood We Bleed, Speed.
That's a strong hardcore theme there.
Yeah.
You're ready to like
That's
spin
me.
around, throw elbows.
Anxious aside. It's,
Yeah,
it's
for the most
strong
part.
hardcore.
Time is a construct, but we kept it that way. You listened for 47,998 minutes. That's 33 days non-stop. You
It's like a
peaked on the
month.
21st of May with 678 minutes. And you were top 5% listeners worldwide. You listened to 590 artists this year, but one came out on top. Any guesses?
Ooh.
Lock them in, people.
It's Kubla Khan or Speed, I'm guessing, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, going from those top songs,
Yeah,
I reckon it might be Speed.
Speed.
Speed?
Yeah.
I think it might be Speed as well, because I listened to that Speed playlist.
A lot.
I think since I made it, and I made it in about June, I would guess I've listened to Speed minimum twice a week. Because I'm
Being
obsessed.
consistent then.
Yeah.
Speed twice a week. Heroin Fridays
My
only.
top artist was
Heroin is Speed. What am I on about? Oh.
Sleep
Token. That's
now I'm stunned because I really actually didn't think I listened to Sleep Token
Okay.
that much this year.
okay.
And then
shit.
and none of their songs were in my top 5. Weird. That's very weird.
Okay.
But okay.
Are we saying Sleep Token have been playing some funny business with the Spotify
Well,
playlist?
to be fair, we went to the tour at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And when I listen to Sleep Token, I'm usually, again, I've got a playlist that's just all Sleep Token songs, shuffling that.
Album then came out in May, and then if you're saying you made the Speed playlist latter half of the year, maybe the first half of your year was very much Sleep Token based.
And your peak
That's
listening
true.
was May the 21st, which
Yep.
is a couple of days after the Sleep Token album came out.
That is true.
So maybe you had a proper binge of it.
You had something special with your top artists. Here's how you spent time with them. Number 1 is Sleep Token. All right, so shall I lock in my guesses for my own top 5?
Number one is
My number 1 is Sleep Token. We know that.
Should we guess first?
Yeah, you
Because
guess
you've
what
got
you
a better
think.
idea of what
Yeah.
you've been listening to. I think Taylor Swift's going to be in there somewhere
yeah.
because she's just released album after album this year.
Are we doing this collaboratively or just individually?
And let's do it collaboratively. Let's,
I feel like
Chuck
based
some
on that
artists
straight
on.
away, Speed and Kubla Khan are going to be in the top 5.
I think they've got to be.
So
I think that's
Speed,
strong.
Kubla Khan, Taylor Swift. We know Sleep,
Sleep
Token is
Token.
my top artist.
So one more.
I'm thinking back
Anxious.
to either Anxious or then Stories So Far popped up in the previous bit. So obviously it's going to be based on those group
It's,
listens.
yeah, it's going to be one of those two. I think it's going to be Anxious.
Yeah, go with that then.
I think
I
you've
would
I think
say-
you've quietly been
Yeah,
Like,
I really, really like Little Green
They're
Lights.
like your discovery of the year, I think.
Yeah. I would say I'm personally really shocked by Sleep Token, especially at number 1, because I thought it would have been Speed. I think Speed, Kubla Khan, Taylor Swift are lock-ins. I'm trying to think what else I've been obsessed with.
It is that last one that's a bit like...
I have been a bit Dayseeker mad this year.
Yeah, you have actually. Yeah.
Especially with the new album. So they could be in there. But let's find out. Let's take that journey together.
Without further ado...
So number 1, we know that, it's Sleep Token. Number 2, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she is.
Peak listening month was July, which I'm pretty sure is when me and Bryony got tickets for the Eras tour. So I probably went a bit fucking mental then. Number 3, Def Havana.
Oh, okay.
This makes sense now. This does make sense because their latest album...
Look at the shock in my voice.
For some reason, I'm obsessed with their latest album. Like,
really
I don't know why. Start to finish, I love it. And I think I must have gone crazy.
It was my go-to shop floor at work album for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Sold quite a few of them.
Number 4 is Bear's Den. See, now this surprises me as well. I love Bear's Den, and I think I've said a few times on the podcast that they might be my favourite artist of all time. So I guess I must just be going to Bear's Den as like almost like a default. Yeah, like I've got nothing to listen to. I listen to Bear's Den because I listen to them all the time. Number 5, it's loading, is Joji.
Okay.
This is very interesting.
Peak listening month was August, which is when I saw him live. So I was going crazy listening to him before and after that gig. But that's crazy.
I guess your playlisting habits are showing through there because a lot of your top songs aren't your top artists.
Yeah, weird. Which is crazy because I'm on my Kubla Khan and Speed playlists like all the time. I'm really shocked. I'm actually shocked because I thought the ones that we predicted were a bit more.
Do you ever put music on to go to sleep to?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is.
I was going to say because Joji and Def Havana could be like
sleep music,
sleep playlists.
No, I normally put YouTube videos on because if it will wake me up in the night.
What videos do you watch?
Shout
Fred.
out
I watch top 10. I watch
It's Fred.
I watch top
go to
10,
sleep.
I watch top 10 wrestling videos.
Nice.
Like list videos, but they take about like 8 to 10 minutes, which if I just lie still and listen to it, I fall asleep, and then it won't wake me up in like an hour if it's still playing. So
okay.
What I do though is, and I think this has skewed it a bit as well, I use YouTube a lot to listen to stuff, particularly Hold Be Held by Ithaca. If that was on Spotify, that would have easily cracked my top 5. But for whatever reason, I only ever listen to it when I'm on YouTube. Don't know why. It's just one of those things. So, what a peculiar top 5. So we'll run it back. Number 5, Joji. Number 4, Bear's Den. Number 3, Def Havana. 2, Taylor Swift, my girl. And number 1, Sleep Token.
Home girl.
Hold on, someone's on the other line. Boop. Who is it? Boop.
This is a special message from me to you. Basically a thank you note. Honestly, it looks like you listened to a lot of my music this year. Doesn't matter which era you were listening to, I'm very, very grateful to be on your Spotify Wrapped.
And that's my number 2 artist, Taylor Swift, sending a message.
That's Taylor Swift on the pod, ladies and gentlemen.
Sleep Token wouldn't send one. Fucking lazy bastard.
Taylor sent that message directly to you.
She did.
By the way.
Yeah, that's what she said.
It's for you, Alex.
I believe her.
I'm a folklore era girly, if anyone's curious. Everyone's got an era. We'll figure yours out in time.
No, we won't.
We will. You seem like an Evermore.
I wouldn't know.
If we got you into it, I reckon. Maybe 1989. Your Reputation, actually, James. I don't think she listens to it, but if my girlfriend's listening to it, she'll be nodding along right now. You are definitely Reputation.
Okay.
It's like got breakdowns on it. Does she go?
Does she do a blur?
She does, yeah.
Right.
That's my Wrapped.
Should I do mine?
That was excellent. Yeah, James looks ready to go.
I'm eager. I'm really interested by this.
He's doing that thing where someone else is taking ages to open their present at Christmas.
I'm ready.
He's like picking at the corners and like shaking it.
He's already seen it.
Well, I'm intrigued because I'll say off the bat, like, although judging by some of the festivals we've been to, and some of my usual favourite bands, I'm not expecting appearances, I think, from the most obvious you'd expect from me.
Yeah,
but let's wait until we get there.
We debated that a little in the group chat, didn't we? Because there were people saying, "Oh, James is going to be obvious," and I was saying, "I don't don't think so.
I think this could be a bit different than
because I think
people
you've
would
discovered quite a lot of new stuff this year that you've gone on to binge.
Yeah,
I think
So,
so. I think
this could be good.
I think I've got some good ideas for you.
Yeah.
we'll start there. Let's do this. 2023 was a feast for my ears. I listened to 14 genres, which I'm not surprised about that it was less. I would say 13 of them are probably
And they're all
different.
just subgenres of metal.
Metalcore, probably. How do your tastes stack up? Let's find out.
Oh, where was my fucking burger then?
It's a sandwich, mate, not a burger.
Oh, you had like 44. You can't have a burger
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
that's true. Yeah.
Like mine can stack up into like good sized fillings. My top genre, metalcore, alternative metal, pop punk. Oh fuck, it went. So mine goes metalcore, alternative metal, pop punk, melodic metalcore, new metalcore. So 3 of my top 5 are some version of metalcore.
All of the genres.
All of the metalcore.
All of the genders.
This year, your listening took you places. I wonder where I went in the world. One place listened just like you. It is Pittsburgh, USA.
Oh, loads of people on
That's
Twitter.
where
People
all
there,
the, that's
most
where all the
likely
metalcore
fans.
That's
stuff
where all
is,
the
isn't it?
metalcore people
Holding
go.
Absence, Not Loose, and Landmarks.
That's where all the metalcore people go.
Mm.
Looks like I need to go to Pittsburgh. I played 1,649 songs, but there was one that really connected.
Oh.
Okay, shut up. Don't say it yet.
I think Alex will know this for fucking sure.
I don't want to see it.
I'll cover it with my foot.
James's top song. It's got to be Holding Absence.
I'm
isn't
drawn to Holding Absence.
it? It's got to be, but what song?
Oh, interesting.
I don't think he's an Afterlife girly.
I think because I think it's going to be something off the new album
I think so too. I think
because
it
of
might be.
binging.
I think it might be Angel in the Marble. No.
Scissors.
Do you reckon?
I think he's a Scissors boy.
No, I think it might. Oh, I think it could be a Crooked Melody.
If we're wrong, can we have another guess? Are either of us right?
It's not Holding Absence.
It's not
what?
Holding
Oh,
Absence.
okay.
You should. I think
Sheesh.
you should get this. Alex.
Is it one of the 2 Upon Loss singles from
No.
the Blues? Oh. I should get
Buried
it.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Buried
When,
Tomorrow?
when I say it,
Is
you're
it
gonna be like,
Counterparts?
No.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Oh, is it Straight from the Path?
No.
Is it Landmarks?
Not Buried Tomorrow.
No.
Is it Landmarks?
Yeah.
Is it Landmarks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember what any of their songs are called. Have you ever been in love? I bet you haven't.
No.
Oh.
It's not
Lost
saying
in
a
a
word.
Wave. This title track.
No. Just get look through Landmark Spotify now.
This is pissing me off.
You'll see that. I think you'll see the name of the song and you'll get it. I
Suffocate.
think. No.
Oh, it's going to be on Lost in the Waves, isn't it? Rainfall. Visage. Always. Shoreline. Paralysed. Rainfall. Silent. Tired of it all. Say no word. Always.
Is it on Fantasy?
Yes.
You fucking bastard. You're going to tell me.
Reckoning.
No.
Damn it.
The Worst of You and Me.
No.
Scars.
No.
Wake Up Call.
No.
Fantasy.
No.
Blistering.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, well, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
Got there
I think it's
I
Blistering.
thought you know the amount of times you've walked in and I've had that on. So I thought you'd have got that. But no, my top song
Oh, shit.
was...
Sorry.
That's right. My top song was Blister My Landmarks. Played it 141 times. Starting
That's a
from
lot of
April.
times, that.
And that all started from the hype for Slam Dunk Festival. Because there were less bands than I initially thought. And I was like, you know what? Let's look into a few more. I had Ruin My Heart for more than one favourite. So number 2... Oh, do you want to guess the other songs or do you want me to rattle through them?
Nah, let's rattle through the songs.
Yeah.
There's too many songs to choose from.
5th is Lost in a Wave by Landmarks. 4 is Whispers of Your Death, Counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
3, Deep in the Willow, Not Loose. 2, A Crooked Melody, Holding Absence. And then 1 being Blistering.
You were right with
We
the
were-
preferred
we
Holding
were-
Absence song.
Yeah.
You were close there.
And I said Not Loose. I said Not Loose. And I said Counterparts.
Yeah.
Try guessing. See?
I know you will.
You thought I was predictable.
No, I get it. I
actually
was-
you didn't because you didn't get the single, but all right.
Whatever.
Time was a construct, but we kept track anyway. You listened for 36,720 minutes. How much was yours?
47,000.
Fuck you. That's 25 days non-stop. I'll take that. I peaked on May 26th at 470 minutes.
I
and was
picked
in
on
the
May
top-
26th. Wait, hang on.
Top
Did I?
9% of listeners worldwide.
You
I
were May
listened-
21st.
Do you remember that?
I remember things. And also, I remember things.
Can't find it. Just carry on.
Well, James's would have been because he was getting ready for Slam Dunk.
Yes. Ready?
Yeah.
I listened to 276 artists this year, but one came out on top. Who are you guys thinking is my top?
I'm leaning towards Holding Absence again.
But do you know me or do you not know me after the single?
Yeah, but it's different because I think when the album came out, you would have binged the shit out of it. And I know that it's, without spoiling the next episode of the podcast, it's likely your favourite album of the year. And you've seen them live a lot of times.
Oh, yeah, I think it's got to be Holding Absence.
And in terms of our friendship group and the people that you like go to the gym with and like do MMA and stuff with, they all like Holding Absence.
Also,
so I think you probably play it a lot then.
We did our live podcast this year, so that would have contributed as well.
Yeah. Also, we could be really overthinking it, and if we've got this wrong now, it's quite embarrassing.
Yeah,
I spent 4,425 minutes listening to this band. I'm in the top 0.05%.
Oh, it has to be Holding Absence.
It's got to be.
It's Holding Absence.
Yeah.
Come on!
You are correct there. Yes.
Cool.
Valiant effort, I would say.
I like that we showed our workings.
You did.
10-mark question.
It was a proper like GCSE essay.
Okay, the rest of the top five,
Right.
I reckon we've got Landmarks in there for sure.
For sure.
I haven't even got it.
I reckon Counterparts are in there.
Yep. I think Knock Loose are in there.
Ooh, I think...
Oh, so this is your collaborative 5. So go on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying
I don't think we're going to see
we've got Holding Absence
I don't
number
think
one.
we're going to see the typical Slipknot Bear Tooth.
I don't think we will. I think
so? Go on.
I think
Holding Absence 1.
I think we've got Holding Absence number one. I think you've probably got Landmarks and Counterparts as probably 2 and 3 in no particular order. It's the next two that I think could be a bit more open.
Ali, any thoughts?
I personally think that Knock Loose is one of them.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Knock
I
Loose.
think, bear in mind one of his top genres is pop punk, is making me think it might be Neck Deep. Which would be surprising.
He doesn't binge very many other pop punk bands.
Yeah.
Or have I got a
feel like
playlist?
if you're gonna listen, huh?
Or have I got a playlist?
Oh, that's a good point. No. You don't.
I don't have I may have used someone else's playlist.
Oh, fuck off.
Which is true.
Tough. This is tough.
Or am I lying?
Or did he binge the story so far enough? We went and saw them.
No.
No, because you didn't have a ticket until the day before we went.
Counterparts and Landmarks are locked in.
Oh, definitely.
I think we can lock in Knock Loose.
I think Not Loose is going to be in there.
One more then.
It's the one more. It's tough.
Bury Tomorrow.
But then Slipknot was at download this year. Fuck.
But Bury Tomorrow
And
had a new
Stray?
album.
Stray?
I
think Stray. I think Stray's a pretty solid fit.
So we're going Holding Absence, Landmarks, Counterparts, Not Loose, Stray.
Not
Let's
Loose.
go Stray.
Yeah.
Okay. So number one being Holding Absence, my peak listening month was January. Obviously we did the podcast. That was a fair shout with that. Number 2. When it will load. Number 2 with the peak listening month being May. Go on, Alex.
It's Landmarks.
It's Landmarks.
Yeah.
Like I said before, slam dunk vibes straight away. Number 3, peak listening month being August.
Not Loose.
Yes, because we went to the Dome and saw them.
Yeah.
That was why, in particular, I got very, very hyped. Number 4, peak listening month of February.
That's got to be
long before Counterparts.
That's got to be Stray. That's got to be residuals from Stray's last year.
And leading into the Beartooth gig, yes, you're right, it's Stray.
Oh, come on.
And then number 5, also peak listening month of February.
Oh, fuck. Well, I have no idea.
Beartooth.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Makes sense with the gig coming up in March, I think it was.
Yeah.
He's still got time for his old favourites.
That is my top 5 being Beartooth, Straight from the Path, Not Loose, Landmarks and Holding Absence. Hold up, there's someone on the other line.
Oh, who's it going to be?
What's up? Tom with Stray here. We got Craig Reynolds. We got Dragon Neck. We got Drew York here. Just want to say thanks for being a Spotify top listener, whatever it is. You're listening to our new record. Appreciate it. From us and the boys. Thank you. We appreciate y'all. See you next year.
Straight from the Path on the podcast, everybody.
Weird that that's for both of us, not our top artist that's done a little thank you video.
Yeah, interesting. However, I'm pretty happy with that. That seems accurate. I mean, it's going to be fucking accurate. It's
What's
based
your
on
listening
stats.
type? Because I forgot to say mine, but it was mine was Alchemist.
Oh, I was just coming up to that now. My listening type is Time Traveller.
I thought you'd get this.
Have we met before? You travel back in time and listen to songs on repeat again and again. The best tracks never get old. That is fucking true. Yeah, that's a given. I'm very happy with my Spotify Wrapped, to be fair.
I mean, you listen to the music.
I listen to the music. It's perfect for me. I just love seeing
That's what I always find funny when people are like, oh, mine's shit. So
I'm like, well, you the fuck
it's
wouldn't
like when you
listen
listen
to
to
it.
songs.
It's like when you complain that your Subway sandwich is bad.
You chose
you
your.
fucking
You
made it.
chose
Shit.
this.
My
I think
brother-
there's literally a
Yeah.
meme that has a Subway sandwich and it says Spotify Wrapped.
So yeah, there we are.
Alex has gone back to look at his.
Listening type, Alchemist. Listening is your laboratory. You create your own playlists.
Lavatory?
Other listeners too. Laboratory. Laboratory.
Laboratory. I thought you said lavatory as well.
He definitely said lavatory.
Yeah, I thought you listen to Spotify while you're having a shit or something.
Yeah. Right.
Talk about shit music taste.
Hey, right there, Mr. Bird.
I'm really intrigued by mine. I'm not. I think my top two. I think my top two artists are probably locked in. I think
I'm going to say now your top
I
artist
think-
is Sleep Token.
I think I know who they're going to be, but could be wrong. Let's have a look. 2023 Wrapped. It says, hello, Dan. Hi. It's rap time. 2023 was a feast for your ears. You listened to 30 genres.
Ooh.
That's not as many as I thought. How did your taste stack up? Here's my sandwich. So my top genres are metalcore,
Yes.
alternative emo, modern rock, British alternative rock, and anthem emo.
Interesting.
Ooh,
I love my British rock.
Okay, that's very intriguing. I'm surprised metalcore's top.
Hmm.
But then I guess it depends what
What they
Sleep Token, I
categorise
guess,
Sleep
will
Token.
categorised as that.
This year you're listening took you places. I'm in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
what?
we're having a party in Pittsburgh.
People there are far more likely to be fans of Sleep Token, Holding Absence, and The Wonder Years. I am fans of those bands.
Factual information.
You played 3,535 songs in 2023, and there was one that really connected.
Chokehold.
What do we think?
Chokehold. Chokehold. It's gotta be.
If I'm getting put, I think secondary guess would be the song "Take Me Back to Eden" potentially, because I'm pretty sure you love that
It might be
song.
Euclid.
It's something from that Sleep Token
Yeah,
album.
I'm gonna say the Chokehold. The Chokehold.
Okay, I'll join with
So
that chokehold.
I think it's going to be The Summoning, but let's see. It's from Take Me Back to Eden. It's The Summoning.
There you go.
There we go.
I played it 128 times this year. Starting
Once every 3 days.
starting on the 6th of January, which will be the day it came out. Because we listened to it at midnight.
Yeah,
We'd had like a
Immediately.
little live chat in the group chat
we did, didn't we?
where we were all like, what the fuck?
What's going on?
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Mm.
Oh, that was cute. Can I just circle back? What if your listening location was like fucking Slough?
I think
I was with-
to take away from your dream there, I think realistically they've probably got about 5 listening
Yeah.
locations that they've predetermined.
Abby opened hers next to me yesterday when we're working here. Hers is Lincoln in the UK.
Lincoln? Lincoln.
Lincoln.
That is incredible.
What are people listening to it? So Lincoln, if I know Abby, it's Blink 182,
Sleep Token and
My
Fall Out
God.
Boy. And then she had Avenged
what's going on in
Sevenfold
Lincoln?
but she had those, and then Avenged Sevenfold and My Chemical Romance were her top 5.
Are all the elder emos just in Lincoln
Apparently
for
they
some
are.
reason?
Apparently they are.
Lincoln?
One more time.
Lincoln?
Oh.
So yeah, Summoning's the top song, but I had room in my heart for more than one favourite.
Right.
You romantic you, it says.
We don't need to guess the songs.
No, you don't need to guess them.
I think it was Sleep Token.
Number 5 is Vor. Number 4 is Aqua Regia.
Brilliant.
Number 3 is Chokehold. Number 2 is Granite.
Yeah. I think we know who your artist is going to be.
You've got time to write your guess in the comments, people. Whose Dan's top art is going to be.
Time is a construct, but we kept track anyway. You listened for 48,187 minutes, which is about the same as yours because it says 33 days non-stop.
Yeah, 47,000 iron.
I peaked on the 28th of April with 727 minutes. So I basically kept Spotify running all day, it seems.
Yeah, no.
What was I doing on 28th of April? Don't know. I mean, the Sleep Token album wasn't out by then, so God knows what I was listening to.
Those other 5 songs that were released.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, half the album.
Yeah, that's true. When was Takedown? That was the start of April, wasn't it? Yeah. You listened to 913 artists this year, but one came out on top.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of artists.
I mean, Sleep Token. Like,
but one came out on top. Who could it possibly be?
If it's not, I'll quit the podcast.
It's Taylor Swift. It's Sleep Token.
Of course.
I'm a top 1% fan. I apparently spent 5,707 minutes with them.
Jeez.
Wow. Those are compared to some of the losers on Twitter. Those are rookie numbers for you.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
Not to mention Reddit.
Oh Christ.
Jesus.
Right. Also, this is just my personal Spotify. I listen to music all day at work as well, so I've probably spent even longer listening to Sleep Token than it says here.
Right, let's have a little bit of a brainstorm.
This is tough.
So,
because I don't think we're
I'm not sure what these are going to be either. I'm going to...
You can hit pause on the top if you need to. The two in the location one I think are probably quite key, being Holding Absence and Wonder Years.
Yeah, I feel like
they're fairly... They've got to be locks in there.
If I know Dan...
If you know Dan, go on, Alex, finish that sentence.
Those two will be in. The rest of it's wide open. The other two spots are wide open, I think.
I think there's one that you're not going to get.
Fair enough. Like pop.
No, not quite pop. An artist that you're not too familiar with, I think.
That's fair.
Do you have any other guesses that come to mind immediately? I'm trying to think where else you've been to in terms of gigs this year.
Yeah.
I
Beauty
think School.
No, I don't think they'll be top 5.
No?
No. I think Stray could be in there.
Okay. Shikari?
Oh, Shikari's album.
I didn't even think of that.
I think if
Do you want to go with those 4?
I think that's a pretty solid.
Stray,
4.
Shikari,
Wonder Years,
Holding Absence.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to go wild here and predict on my own that I don't think the Wonder Years are going to be in my top 5.
Ooh.
But let's find out.
Betting against himself.
So number 1 is Sleep Token. Peak listening month was January when they started dropping. The album wasn't even out. Two songs.
Jesus
Two
Christ,
songs. I mean, they do have another 2 albums and 2 EPs. So come on.
Let you off.
Christ.
Number 2 is Holding Absence.
Come on.
Yes.
Peak listening month of May. So again, their album hadn't come out.
Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
Trees build up.
Yeah, I suppose
think that's good timing.
They're probably starting to release. Yeah, they would have been releasing singles
would have come
then
out,
as well.
False Dawn they played at. False Dawn and Quicker Melody would have been out.
Number 3 is Enter Shikari. Peak listening month of April, which is
tour.
When the album came out.
Was there a tour?
And they toured. They toured before that. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4 is. Yeah, this is the wild card that I thought you wouldn't guess. It's Medium Build.
Never heard of
them, yeah.
Who is kind of a singer-songwriter kind of guy from Alaska.
Okay.
Who kind of went viral on TikTok and just has really, really addictive music, really addictive songs. And I often put his music on when I go to sleep.
Ah.
So he probably plays quite a lot through the night as well. So that's getting his numbers up.
Lullabies.
So big up Medium Build. If you've not listened to Medium Build, go and check him out. And then number 5, this is where we determine whether the Wonder Years are or aren't in my top 5. And I can confirm they're not in my top 5. It's Hot Mulligan.
Oh, hell yeah. That makes sense.
So the Wonder Years aren't there.
Hot Mulligan.
Which I suspect is because I listened to... And my sister said I'm snobby because of this, because I already predicted they wouldn't be in my top 5. She said that I'm a massive snob because the reason I don't think they're in my top 5 is because I listen to them on vinyl. I don't really listen to them on Spotify anymore. I just chuck an album on.
That
Just listen to it on vinyl.
is quite pretentious.
Yeah, I know.
I rate that though. Fair enough.
I'm too good for Spotify.
Yeah.
Also, I listen to Sleep Token on vinyl a lot as well.
Oh,
so
Christ.
so my,
those
my
listening
numbers
minutes.
could have been like through the roof.
Jeez.
What's your listening type?
Do I get a message from one of my artists?
Oh, you might do, yeah.
Is it going to be Lucas? Is going to be holding absence?
No, they couldn't
Oh,
be fucked to do J's.
There's someone's on the other line.
Hello everyone.
Oh, hello.
Go sound check here in Vienna. We're currently working our way around the globe for our Kiss for the Whole World tour. And golly gosh, what a year it's been for us so far.
We'd like to pick up everyone that's been streaming us this year on Spotify. We got our first UK #1 this year, which was mad. Big love. We'll see you soon.
And Shikari, everyone.
Hey, thank you for coming on the pod.
No, we didn't talk about top podcasts. My top podcast is Jack Mate's Happy Hour.
Mine was off menu.
Oh, I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Fuck podcasts.
Fucking who listens to that shit?
Go rate the Ragamuffin podcast on Spotify now. 5 stars, please.
I think this is a Taylor Swift reference. It says, the way you listen this year makes you a hero or maybe an anti-hero.
She's
I was worried it was going to go, Taylor Swift's your number 6 or something. What am I revealing here? My listening type. I'm a hypnotist.
Oh, explain.
Your concentration is absolute, friend. You like to play albums all the way through, from the opening track to the final note. It's true. Preferably on vinyl. They've obviously detected that I've just gone back and listened to Take Me Back to Eden over and over again.
Yep. The one album that is.
Well, that's a
There we
wrap.
go.
That's a Spotify.
That is a wrap. I'm
That was
surprised
very
that my top
interesting.
genre is metalcore.
Yeah, that shocked me a lot. But I guess then if Sleep
Although
Token,
there's not
that.
really any metalcore. I guess Sleep Token have obviously been classified as metalcore, but yeah, most of my top 5 isn't metalcore. So
No,
hey ho, I'm a
Join me.
metalcore boy. Who'd have thought it?
join me.
And
Join the dark
we're in
side.
Pittsburgh
We're
together.
in Pittsburgh together. We're pitting. Holding absence, we'll see in Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah,
Good times. We're having a great time. Where are you, Alex?
Oh, I can't remember.
Slough.
Nowhere important.
It's not in Lincoln.
You know, I've got Reading, Didcot, Yateley, Winnersh. Office
Brilliant.
reference for those unaware. UK version, obviously.
Right, I guess we better recommend some albums for next month.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, fuck you know.
After seeing them supporting it straight from the path, I have listened to Gnosis a lot more. And then after that event, they dropped their new EP, The Eternal Doom. Go check it out. A lovely little 3-track. Very experimental, I found, and very, very enjoyable. So I highly recommend anyone out there to listen to it. But yeah, Gnosis, The Eternal Doom.
I'm going to recommend an album that came out end of October, and it is No Love Lost by Year of the Knife. I feel like because of the very unfortunate accident that they were in earlier this year, I don't know, I want to celebrate something joyful about this band now that, you know, they're all on the road to recovery following their accident. And we didn't get a chance to listen to it as it dropped last month, so let's do it now.
Nice. Dan.
So on last month's episode, I said that I would either pick one that James would love, or one that I'm a bit more intrigued about what he'd think of it. We picked the one he'd love, and he did love it. This time I'm going for the other one. It's Guts by Olivia Rodrigo.
I'm very excited by this.
I can't wait to hear what James thinks of this one. And I think he might be as surprised as I was when I first started listening to Olivia Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you what, it's a cracking album.
Yeah, better than Sour.
Controversial.
Making this statement now.
Actually, no, I take that back.
The episode when you recommend Taylor Swift, I will be passing on it that month.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't group Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift in the
No,
same.
you've got it.
I'm
wrong.
just
thing.
saying, Alex.
Can
I'm
I-
seeing emotions,
Which-
the wheels going through Alex's head.
I reviewed it for Truck for the top 50 albums of the year. Would you like me to read you what I wrote about it?
Go for it.
Because it might change your tune a little bit.
Okay.
Because you seem a little bit pessimistic about it.
I am. Yep.
Olivia Rodrigo became the next global superstar on her debut, Sour, and now backs it up on Guts. Rodrigo makes the difficult second album look like a breeze by picking up pretty much exactly where she left off. If anything, she's a bit more ticked off this time, and she's supported by more grungy pop-punk instrumentals. For the most part, Guts is a fun, witty pop-punk album, channeling the rocker chick energy of peak Avril Lavigne, mixed with slower Taylor Swift/Phoebe Bridgers-style pop ballads, where Rodrigo is free to showcase her excellent vocal range. You like Avril Lavigne.
I love a bit of Avril Lavigne.
Modern
You like
day
pop
She
punk.
was, but I still remember to this day, top of the pops, complicated. She was playing it. I fell in love.
I think if Olivia Rodrigo had Avril Lavigne, or I guess the equivalent modern aesthetic, you wouldn't be even thinking twice about this, because she looks like a pop star. That's why.
I think it's easy because she's like breaking records, was selling albums and doing massive stadium, but almost stadium, like massive, like Madison Square Garden shows and stuff. It's easy to go, that's a pop star, but there's some good grungy and punk elements in there, which is why I'm really intrigued to hear what you think about it.
We'll find out my thoughts next month.
We'll find out next month, along with our Ragamuffin Awards.
Yes.
I'm excited by these.
Prestigious 3rd annual Ragamuffin Awards will be coming to you next month.
Song of the Year, Album of the Year, Artist, EP, Gig of the Year,
Music
Performance
video.
of the Year,
Discovery of the Year.
Discovery, yeah. All kinds of exciting things. Like 2023 has been such a fun year for music and been packed with incredible songs, albums, events. Festivals have been so much fun. And to kind of get a really good chance to look back, celebrate it as a whole, as we close it all off, and look forward into 2024 afterwards. So that will be a lot of fun. Look forward to that soon, because I'm intrigued to see what we're all going to pick.
And by the time this goes out, we'll have some more news, won't we? Because come and join us in our Facebook group.
Yeah.
Join the Ragamuffin Club. Join the discussion. Come and have a laugh. Come and chat with us.
Be a ragamuffin.
Be part of the content.
That's about it.
We'll love you and leave you.
That's a wrap.
Like the video. Comment down below some of your Spotify raps. Who is your favourite artist of the year? The one that you listen to most. And subscribe to the channel. And we'd be very grateful while Dan makes some...
But we've got to go, because we've got to call a plumber. There's a leak in here.
There you go.
See you later.